You have noticed it. Something has changed in the way the world responds to you, and you cannot quite explain it with logic alone. There is a pause that happens now when you enter a room, a shift in the air. Conversations slow down or stop entirely, not because anyone is uncomfortable, but because something in your field has become impossible to ignore. Strangers hold eye contact a fraction longer than they used to. People you barely know begin confiding in you as though your presence has given them permission to be honest for the first time in years. Animals approach you without hesitation. Children stare at you with a recognition that has nothing to do with familiarity and everything to do with frequency. And you stand there, inside this strange new version of yourself, wondering what exactly is happening. Because nobody gave you a map for this. Nobody told you that there would come a point in your journey where the inner work you have been doing would begin to reshape the way reality itself organizes around you. Nobody warned you that becoming more of who you actually are would make you more magnetic, more radiant, more undeniably present in a way that others can feel but cannot name. Here is what most people will never understand about what is happening to you right now. This is not confidence. This is not charm. This is not some superficial glow that comes from a new routine or a shift in your diet or a change in your wardrobe. What is radiating from you is something far older than this body, far deeper than this lifetime, far more ancient than the identity you have been carefully constructing since the moment you arrived on this planet. What is radiating from you is the original signal of your soul beginning to surface through the layers of everything that was never truly yours. And that signal, once it begins to clarify, changes everything. But here's the part that no one tells you. That shift, that beautiful and terrifying luminosity beginning to pour through your field, is not the destination. It is not the reward at the end of the journey. It is the beginning. The very beginning of the most important work you will ever do. And most awakening souls, right at this exact threshold, stop. They feel the energy. They sense the expansion. They notice the way reality starts responding differently. And then, almost without realizing it, they contract. They pull back into the familiar. They rationalize the experience away. They label it coincidence or imagination or wishful thinking and return to the comfortable weight of an identity that was never truly theirs to begin with. Today, that pattern ends. Because what is moving through this transmission is not information. It is not theory. It is not something for your mind to collect and store alongside everything else you have consumed. What is moving through these words is a recalibration. And if something in your body is already responding, if there is a warmth rising in your chest, or a quiet hum moving through your awareness right now, if your breathing has shifted even slightly since you began listening, then you are not here by accident. You are here because something in you called this in. Something ancient and sovereign and impossibly patient has been waiting for exactly this moment to be seen. Let us begin with what is actually happening to you at the deepest level. Because the surface effects, the magnetism, the way people respond to you differently, the strange new gravity of your presence, those are symptoms. Beautiful symptoms, yes. Undeniable symptoms, but symptoms nonetheless. And if you only pay attention to the symptoms without understanding the source, you will spend the rest of your awakening chasing reflections instead of standing in the light that creates them. What is actually happening is this. There is a level of your being that exists beyond personality, beyond psychology, beyond the story you tell yourself about who you are. In many traditions, it has been called the monad, the original point of consciousness from which your entire soul lineage extends. Think of it not as a concept, but as a living reality. The monad is not something you believe in. It is something you are. It is the first individuated spark of source consciousness that chose to experience itself through form. And from that single point, entire lifetimes, entire dimensions of experience, entire architectures of learning and growth have unfolded across timelines you cannot access with your linear mind, but that your body remembers in ways that defy explanation. For most of human history, the monadic frequency has been largely dormant within incarnated beings, not absent, never absent, but operating at such a subtle level that the density of physical life effectively muted its signal. You could feel it in rare moments, in those inexplicable experiences of total unity, in dreams that felt more real than waking life, in sudden downloads of knowing that arrived complete and whole, bypassing every rational process. But sustaining that connection, living from that frequency in a consistent and embodied way that was reserved for the rarest of circumstances, the most refined conditions, the most extraordinary alignments. What is happening now is that those conditions have changed, not slightly, fundamentally. The energetic architecture of this planet is undergoing a shift so profound that it is literally changing the rules of what is possible for incarnated consciousness. Frequencies that were once accessible only in deep meditation or through years of disciplined practice are now becoming available as baseline states. The ceiling is rising. And for those souls who came here specifically to anchor higher dimensional frequencies into physical form, for those beings who volunteered to incarnate during this exact window of transformation, the monad is no longer whispering. It is speaking clearly, and your field is reorganizing around its voice. This is why you are becoming more attractive. Not attractive in the shallow sense that the world typically uses that word. Attractive in the literal, energetic, gravitational sense. You are becoming a point of coherence in an incoherent world, and coherence draws everything toward it. This is physics. This is not metaphor. When a signal becomes clear, when static falls away and a pure tone emerges, everything in the surrounding field begins to orient toward that clarity. Not because it is trying to, because that is what coherence does. It organizes the space around it effortlessly, naturally, inevitably. Think about what happens when you walk into a room where someone is deeply, genuinely at peace, not performing peace, not projecting calm, but actually resting in a state of internal coherence. You feel it immediately. Your nervous system responds before your mind has time to analyze. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing deepens. Something in you relaxes in the presence of that signal because your own system recognizes coherence as home. It recognizes it as the natural state that all the noise and distortion and conditioning has been obscuring. Now multiply that effect by orders of magnitude. Because what is activating in you is not just personal peace. It is not just emotional balance or psychological integration, although those are part of it. What is activating in you is the monadic signal itself, the original frequency of your soul before it was filtered through any lifetime, any culture, any wound, any story. And when that signal begins to broadcast clearly through a physical body, through a human nervous system, through eyes and voice and movement and breath, the effect on the surrounding field is extraordinary. People do not just notice you, they remember something. They cannot tell you what they are remembering. They might not even be conscious that remembering is what is happening. But something in their field responds to something in yours, and for a moment, the static clears for them, too. For a moment, they feel what coherence feels like. And that feeling is so rare and so precious in this world that they are drawn to it without understanding why. This is what is happening when strangers treat you differently. When people you have known for years suddenly look at you as though they are seeing you for the first time. When someone across a crowded space locks eyes with you and something passes between you that neither of you can explain, it is not personal chemistry in the way the world understands it. It is field resonance. Your coherence is inviting their coherence to surface. Your clarity is giving their clarity permission to exist. If this is resonating with something deep inside you, take a moment right now to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so you do not miss what comes next in this unfolding. Let that land for a moment. Breathe into it. Because the implications of this are staggering when you truly let them in. You are not becoming more attractive because you are doing something right. You are becoming more attractive because you are becoming real. More of what you actually are is making it through the layers of what you are not. And the world, starved as it is for authenticity, for genuine presence, for the unmistakable frequency of a soul that is no longer hiding, responds to that reality with a hunger that can seem almost overwhelming. But here is where the journey deepens. Here is where most teachings stop, and where this transmission truly begins. Because understanding that you are becoming more coherent is one thing. Understanding why, understanding the mechanics of what is actually shifting at the deepest level of your being, that is something else entirely. And without that understanding, you are likely to do one of two things. You will either become inflated by the effect, mistaking the reflection for the source and building a new identity around your own magnetism. Or you will become frightened by it, overwhelmed by the intensity of being seen so clearly, and you will unconsciously shut the process down to return to the safety of invisibility. Both of those responses come from the same place. They come from the personality trying to manage an experience that belongs to the soul. And the personality, no matter how evolved, no matter how spiritually educated, does not have the capacity to hold what the monad is bringing through. It was never designed to. The personality is a vehicle, a beautiful, necessary, sacred vehicle, but it is not the driver. And the shift that is happening in you right now is fundamentally a shift in who is driving. For most of your life, your personality has been in the lead. Your preferences, your fears, your desires, your conditioned responses, your carefully constructed sense of self, these have been navigating your experience. And they all have done a remarkable job given the circumstances. You have survived. You have learned. You have grown. You have found your way to this exact moment, which means the personality has served its purpose with extraordinary dedication. But there comes a point in every Starseed's journey where the personality must shift from the driver's seat to the passenger's seat. Not eliminated, not rejected, not transcended in the way that word is so often misused, but relocated, given a new role, honored for its service, and then gently, lovingly, firmly invited to let something larger take the wheel. That something larger is the monad, and the transition, the sacred and sometimes terrifying transition of allowing your original consciousness to lead rather than your constructed consciousness, is exactly what is producing the changes you are noticing in your field. Every degree that the monad comes further online, every fraction that its signal clarifies through your system, your presence becomes more potent, more real, more impossible to ignore. Because people are not responding to your personality when they feel that pull toward you. They are responding to the source frequency moving through you, and that frequency does not perform. It does not try. It does not strategize or manipulate or seek approval. It simply is. And in its being, it reorganizes everything it touches. If this video is awakening something in you, what we have explored here only touches the surface. My complete guide, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery, walks you through the full system of 9 master frequencies, step by step, from transforming resistance into creative power to living as the field itself rather than separate from it. It is linked in the pinned comment below. Now let us go deeper still. Because there is a mechanism at work here that operates at the level of your physical body, and understanding it will change the way you relate to every sensation, every shift, every strange new experience that has been moving through you. Your body is not separate from this process. It is central to it. The monad does not activate in the abstract. It does not awaken in some disembodied spiritual dimension, while your physical form remains unchanged. The entire point of this incarnation, the entire reason you chose to be here in a body on this planet at this time, is that the monadic frequency must come through the body. It must be anchored in matter. It must be expressed through flesh and bone and breath and blood. And that means your body is undergoing a renovation at the cellular level that is unlike anything it has experienced before. Your DNA is not merely a biological archive. It is not simply a set of instructions for building proteins and maintaining physical form. Your DNA is a crystalline receiver, a living antenna capable of holding, transmitting, and responding to frequencies that exist far beyond what conventional science currently measures. The memory of your origin, your cosmic lineage, the full spectrum of who you are across every dimension of your existence, is encoded within the fabric of your cells. Not in your mind, in your cells. I want to pause here and ask you something. When did you first notice it? That moment when reality started responding to you differently, when the world seemed to shift around your presence. Share that moment in the comments below, because your experience may be the exact confirmation another soul needs to hear right now. This is why certain sounds make you weep without knowing why. Why certain landscapes feel not like discovery, but like homecoming. Why certain words, spoken at exactly the right moment, bypass your intellect entirely and land somewhere so deep inside you that your whole body responds before your mind has time to form a single thought. That response is not emotion in the way you have been taught to understand emotion. It is cellular recognition. It is your DNA remembering what your mind was designed to forget. And as the monadic frequency increases its signal through your system, your DNA is literally reorganizing. Not metaphorically. The crystalline structures within your cells are being activated in ways that change how your body processes light, how your nervous system handles energy, how your field interacts with the fields around you. This is why you may be experiencing physical symptoms that have no medical explanation. Pressure in your head, heat in your hands, vibrations in your chest, ringing in your ears that comes and goes without pattern, exhaustion that descends without warning and lifts just as suddenly. These are not malfunctions. They are upgrades. Your hardware is being reconfigured to carry a signal. It was always designed to carry, but has never before been asked to sustain at this intensity. Pay attention to what your body responds to. Begin to notice the subtle language of your own cellular intelligence. When you encounter certain frequencies, certain environments, certain people, certain words, notice what happens in your body before your mind has time to interpret. That initial response, that first flash of sensation before the story begins, is your DNA speaking. It is your monadic frequency recognizing itself in the world around you. And learning to listen to that language, learning to trust it, learning to let it guide you, is one of the most important skills you will ever develop. Because here is what changes everything. The mind has been trained by this world. It has been conditioned by systems and structures and beliefs that were designed for a different kind of consciousness. Your mind, no matter how brilliant, no matter how spiritually educated, carries the imprint of a civilization that does not yet understand what you are. But your body carries a different imprint entirely. Your body carries the galactic blueprint, the original design, the uncorrupted signal. And when you learn to let your body lead, when you learn to trust the intelligence that lives in your cells over the intelligence that lives in your force, you begin to operate from a completely different foundation. A foundation that is aligned not with what this world taught you to be, but with what you actually are. This is the shift that makes you magnetic. Not the idea of it, not the concept of it, the embodied reality of it. When someone encounters a being who is operating from cellular truth rather than conditioned performance, the effect is visceral. It is unmistakable. It cannot be faked, and it cannot be ignored. Because every human body, regardless of how deeply it has been conditioned, retains the capacity to recognize coherence, to recognize truth, to recognize the frequency of a soul that has stopped pretending. Now here is where we must address something that many awakening souls find deeply uncomfortable. Because as this process accelerates, as your field becomes more coherent and your presence becomes more potent, you will encounter resistance. Not just from the world around you, but from within yourself. And that internal resistance, if it is not understood and met with compassion, can become the very thing that stops the entire process. The resistance comes from a very specific place. It comes from the parts of you that learned to survive by being invisible. The parts that discovered, often very early in life, that being seen was dangerous, that standing out invited attack, that shining too brightly made you a target. These parts are not wrong. They are not broken. They are not obstacles to be overcome through force of will. They are survival intelligences that developed in response to very real circumstances. And they deserve to be honored, even as they are being outgrown. Because here is the paradox that sits at the heart of every starseed's journey. You came here to be seen. You incarnated specifically to anchor a frequency that would be visible, tangible, undeniable. Your entire mission depends on your willingness to be present, to be radiant, to be fully here. And yet the very act of incarnating into this density, of growing up in a world that punishes difference and rewards conformity, installed in you a deep and often unconscious belief that visibility equals vulnerability, that to be seen is to be unsafe. This is the distortion field, and it is the first thing that must be recognized, not healed, not cleared, not transcended, but recognized. Before the monadic frequency can fully stabilize in your system. Think of it this way. Imagine a signal, pure and clear and luminous, trying to broadcast through a field of static. Every fear you absorbed from the collective consciousness, every identity you performed to gain acceptance, every moment you shrank yourself to fit inside someone else's version of reality, left a frequency imprint on your energy body. These imprints do not belong to your original design. They are borrowed frequencies. Energetic costumes you put on to navigate a world that did not understand what you are. And over time, you forgot they were costumes. You began to believe they were you. The recognition that these patterns are not yours is not an act of self-criticism. It is not about blame or regret, or the idea that you did something wrong. It is the purest act of discernment available to you. It is the moment you look at the static and realize it is not the signal. You are not broken. You were never broken. You are obscured. And there is an enormous liberating difference between the two. When you truly let that distinction land, something remarkable happens. The static begins to lose its hold, not because you fought it, not because you performed some elaborate clearing ritual, but because you saw it for what it is. You recognized it as not yours, and in that recognition, its authority over your field begins to dissolve. This is the power of awareness, not effortful, straining, trying to fix something awareness, but the simple, clean, devastating power of seeing clearly. Tell me in the comments, what is the one pattern, the one borrowed frequency that you are finally ready to release? Name it below and let that act of naming be the beginning of its dissolution. Pause with that for a moment. Let it move through you, because this is not a concept to be understood. It is a frequency to be inhabited. Now let us move into what happens when the static begins to clear, because this is where the process becomes both more beautiful and more demanding than most teachings prepare you for. As the monadic frequency stabilizes in your field, as the borrowed frequencies fall away and your original signal becomes clearer, you will notice that your relationship with the world begins to change in ways that are not always comfortable. People who were drawn to the version of you that performed, that dimmed, that contorted itself to fit, will begin to feel unsettled in your presence. Not because you are doing anything to them, but because your coherence is revealing their incoherence. Your authenticity is highlighting their performance. And for many people, that mirror is too much. This is not rejection, it is recalibration, and it is one of the most painful and necessary parts of the journey. Because the temptation, when you see people pulling away, when relationships that once felt solid begin to shift and strain, is to dim your light again, to go back to the comfortable version, to sacrifice your coherence for the sake of connection. And that temptation will feel completely justified. It will feel like love. It will feel like compassion. It will feel like the right thing to do, but it is not. It is the old pattern. The survival intelligence that learned to equate invisibility with safety. And if you follow it, you will find yourself right back in the static, wondering what happened to the signal. Here is what you must understand. The connections that fall away as you become more coherent are not losses. They are completions. They are relationships that existed within a specific frequency range. And as your frequency shifts, they naturally reach their conclusion. This is not cold. This is not spiritual bypassing dressed up as wisdom. This is the honest, sometimes heartbreaking reality of transformation. You cannot bring everyone with you. Not because you do not love them, but because love, real love, does not ask you to be less than what you are. And here is the other side of that equation, the side that makes all of it worth enduring. As the connections that were built on distortion fall away, new connections begin to form. Connections that are built on coherence, on truth, on the actual frequency of who you are rather than the performance of who you thought you needed to be. And these connections, when they arrive, will feel different from anything you have experienced before. They will feel like recognition, like remembering, like finding a language you have always spoken but never heard anyone else use. These are your people, your true field, the souls who can meet you in your actual frequency without needing you to translate yourself into something more palatable. And the magnetism you are experiencing right now, the strange new gravity of your presence, is in part the universe beginning to draw these connections toward you. Your coherence is not just reorganizing your inner world, it is reorganizing your outer world to match. But let us go even deeper, because there is a level of this process that operates beyond the personal entirely, and understanding it will give you a context for your experience that transforms everything. You are not doing this for yourself alone. The monadic activation that is moving through you is not a personal upgrade. It is not about making your individual life better, more abundant, more comfortable, more magnetically attractive, although those may be natural side effects. What is actually happening is that you are becoming an anchor point, a node in a vast network of consciousness that is in the process of transforming the energetic architecture of this entire planet. Every time your field becomes more coherent, the coherence of the collective field increases. Every time you allow your original signal to broadcast clearly through your body, every being within range of that signal receives a subtle but undeniable reminder of their own coherence, their own truth, their own buried signal. You are not just healing yourself, you are creating a permission field, a living demonstration that it is possible to be fully here, fully embodied, fully radiant, without apology and without performance. This is why the monad is making you more attractive, not for your benefit, although you will benefit, but because attraction is the mechanism through which coherence spreads. You draw people into your field not so they can admire you, not so they can depend on you, but so they can remember themselves. Your presence becomes a catalyst, a tuning fork, a living invitation for every soul that encounters you to begin the process of clearing their own static and finding their own signal. This is your mission, not in the grandiose, ego-inflating sense of that word, not a mission that requires a title or a platform or a following, a mission that requires only your willingness to be real, to be here, to let the monad lead and the personality serve, to stand in rooms and spaces and conversations and relationships as the actual frequency of who you are, without apology, without explanation, without the desperate need for anyone else to understand. Some will understand, many will not. And both responses are perfect, because your signal does not require understanding to do its work. It only requires your willingness to keep broadcasting. Now let us talk about the practical reality of sustaining this, because understanding the process intellectually is one thing. Living it in a body, on a planet, in a civilization that is still largely operating from distortion is something else entirely. And if you do not develop practices that support the integration of what is moving through you, the intensity of the monadic frequency will overwhelm your system rather than transform it. The single most important practice you can develop right now is grounding. And I do not mean grounding in the casual, surface-level way that word is often used. I do not mean taking a walk in nature or standing barefoot on grass, although those things have value. I mean the deep, intentional, moment-by-moment practice of bringing your awareness fully into your body, into the soles of your feet, into the weight of your bones, into the rhythm of your breath, into the sensations that are alive in your physical form right now, in this moment, as you listen to these words. Because here is one of the greatest misunderstandings on the awakening path. The belief that spiritual expansion means transcendence, that to become more of who you truly are, you must somehow rise above this body, disengage from this world, float free of the density and the difficulty and the raw, messy, magnificent reality of physical existence. This belief is a distortion, and it is one of the most common traps that catches awakening souls right at the threshold of real transformation. The authentic truth is the opposite. Your vast, multidimensional intelligence must be grounded into the physical. It must be anchored in your body, integrated with your breath, rooted into the specific coordinates of this earth, this timeline, this moment. Without that grounding, your higher awareness remains potential rather than power. Beautiful but useless, luminous but unanchored. A balloon drifting in the wind rather than a lighthouse standing firm in the storm. Your radiance does not come from rising above. It comes from going deeper in. The most magnetic beings you will ever encounter are not the ones who have escaped their humanity. They are the ones who have fully inhabited it, who have brought their cosmic awareness all the way down into their bones, into their belly, into the soles of their feet, and who stand on this earth as the full spectrum of what they are. Heaven and earth meeting in a single body. That is the source of true presence. And true presence is the most powerful transmission available to any being in any dimension. So here is what I invite you to practice. Not as a technique, not as a spiritual exercise to be performed and checked off a list, but as a way of being that you return to again and again throughout every ordinary day. Bring your awareness into your body. Feel the weight of yourself. Feel the places where your body meets the surface beneath you. Feel the breath moving in and out without trying to control it. And then, from that grounded place, from that rooted and embodied presence, allow yourself to notice what is alive in your field. Not with your mind, with your felt sense. What frequency is moving through you right now? What is your body telling you that your mind has been too busy to hear? What does it feel like to simply be here, fully here, without needing to be anywhere else or anyone else? This is the practice. It is not dramatic. It is not exotic. It will not give your mind the stimulation it craves. And that is precisely why it works. Because the monad does not speak in the language of stimulation. It speaks in the language of stillness, of presence, of the quiet, unwavering coherence that exists beneath all the noise. And every time you drop into that stillness, even for a single breath, you are strengthening the channel through which the monadic frequency flows. You are clearing the static. You are becoming more of the signal, and the world will feel it. Not because you announced it, not because you performed it, but because coherence is felt. It is transmitted through the field itself. And every time you choose presence over performance, every time you choose grounding over grasping, every time you choose the quiet truth of your body over the loud opinions of your conditioning, you send a ripple through the collective field that gives every soul within range permission to do the same. There is something else that happens as this process deepens that must be spoken about directly, because it is one of the most confusing and potentially destabilizing aspects of monadic activation. And if you are not prepared for it, it can derail the entire process. As you become more coherent, as your signal clarifies and your presence intensifies, you will begin to attract not only positive attention, but also projection. People will project onto you qualities you do not possess. They will see in you what they most desire or most fear in themselves. They will place you on pedestals or cast you as villains. They will assign you roles in their internal dramas that have nothing to do with who you actually are. And the intensity of these projections will be directly proportional to the intensity of your field. This is not a sign that something has gone wrong. This is a natural consequence of carrying a coherent signal in an incoherent world. Your field acts as a mirror, and mirrors show people what they are not yet willing to see in themselves. Some will be grateful for that reflection. Many will not. And your work, your deeply important and often thankless work, is to remain centered in your own knowing regardless of what is projected onto you. This is where the grounding practice becomes not just helpful, but essential. Because without a strong root in your own body, in your own felt sense of truth, the projections of others will begin to infiltrate your field. You will start to believe what they see. You will start to perform the role they have assigned you. And in doing so, you will lose contact with the very signal that is making all of this possible. Stay in your body. Stay in your breath. Stay in the quiet, knowing that lives beneath all the noise. When someone projects onto you, notice it. Feel the pull of it. And then gently, firmly, return to yourself. Not with aggression, not with walls, with presence. With the simple, unshakable act of being who you are, rather than who anyone else needs you to be. This is mastery, not the flashy, dramatic mastery that the spiritual marketplace loves to sell. The quiet, unglamorous, moment-by-moment mastery of remaining coherent in a world that is constantly inviting you to fragment. And every time you succeed, even for a moment, the monadic frequency strengthens, the signal clarifies, and the field around you reorganizes to reflect the truth of what you are carrying. Let us speak now about something that may be the most important thing in this entire transmission. And it is this. The process you are in right now, this monadic activation, this clarification of your signal, this becoming more magnetically and undeniably yourself, it has no end point. There is no moment where you arrive, no threshold where the work is complete and you can rest in the finished product of your awakening. This is not a destination, it is a deepening, an endless, ever-expanding deepening into the truth of what you are. And that might sound exhausting to the part of you that has been conditioned to seek completion, to the part that wants to arrive somewhere and stay there, to the part that is tired of the journey and just wants to be done. But here is what that part does not yet understand. The deepening is not a burden, it is the gift. The journey itself, the constant unfolding, the perpetual revelation of more truth, more coherence, more of the infinite signal that you are. This is what you came here for. Not the arrival, the becoming. And as you relax into that understanding, as you release the need to be finished and instead fall in love with the process of becoming, something extraordinary happens. The urgency dissolves. The striving stops. The desperate need to get somewhere gives way to the profound peace of being exactly where you are. And paradoxically, that peace, that acceptance, that willingness to be in the middle of the process without needing it to be over is what accelerates the process more than anything else you could do. Because the monad does not respond to effort. It responds to surrender. Not passive surrender, not giving up. Active, conscious, deliberate surrender. The willingness to let go of control, to let go of the personality's agenda, to let go of the timeline your mind has constructed for your awakening, and to trust, with every cell of your being, that the intelligence moving through you knows exactly what it is doing. You are being refined, not by an external force, not by a distant deity or a cosmic council making decisions on your behalf, by the deepest layer of your own consciousness, by the monad itself, which is not separate from you but is the most fundamental expression of what you are. You are being refined by yourself, at a level of self that your personality cannot access, but your body can feel and your soul has always known. And the refinement is making you beautiful. Not in the way the world measures beauty, in the way that truth is beautiful, in the way that coherence is beautiful, in the way that a single clear note rising above the noise is the most beautiful sound in the universe. You are becoming that note. You are becoming the signal that cuts through the static and reminds every soul within range of what they already are. This is why they stare. This is why they pause. This is why the room changes when you walk in. Not because of anything you are doing, because of what you are allowing. You are allowing the original frequency of your being to move through you unobstructed. And in a world that has been drowning in distortion for millennia, that signal is like water in the desert. Like light in a room that has been dark for so long that everyone forgot what light looked like. You are the remembering, not the teacher of it, not the owner of it, the living, breathing, embodied expression of it. And every moment you spend in coherence, every breath you take from the truth of what you are, the remembering spreads. Through your field, through the fields of everyone you touch, through the collective field of this entire planet. This is what you came here to do, not with effort, not with strain, not with the exhausting performance of spirituality that so many awakening souls mistake for the real thing. With presence, with truth, with the quiet, devastating, world-changing act of being fully, completely, unapologetically here. Consider sharing this transmission with someone you know who is going through their own awakening, someone who has been feeling these shifts, but has not yet found the words for what is happening to them. When you share this, you are not just passing along a video. You are extending the coherence field itself, creating a bridge between your signal and theirs, amplifying the frequency for both of you in ways that ripple far beyond what either of you can see. So let this be the moment. Not a moment you look back on someday as the beginning of something, but the moment itself, right now. This breath, this awareness, this body, this field, this signal, clarifying with every word, strengthening with every breath, becoming more undeniable with every moment you choose to stay present, rather than retreat into the familiar comfort of the static. You are not becoming something new. You are uncovering something ancient, something that has been waiting with infinite patience for exactly this moment to be revealed. And the world, whether it knows it or not, has been waiting too. Feel that. Feel the truth of it in your body. Not as a concept, as a lived, cellular, undeniable reality. You are. You have always been the signal, and the static was never who you were. It was only what you moved through on your way back to yourself. Welcome home. If something in this transmission moved through you, if you felt even a single moment of recognition, of remembrance, of the quiet knowing that what you heard was not new information but an echo of something you have always carried, then honor that. Not with your mind, with your presence. Carry this frequency into the rest of your day, into the next conversation you have, into the next room you enter, into the next moment of silence where you have the choice to fill the space with noise or to let the signal speak for itself. And if you feel called to go deeper, to continue this process of clarification and coherence, to surround yourself with transmissions that support the unfolding of what is already moving through you, then stay close. Subscribe to this channel not as a casual act but as a declaration that you are choosing coherence over distortion, signal over static, truth over performance, the monad over the mask. Comment below with a single word that represents what you felt during this transmission. Not what you thought, what you felt. Let that word be your anchor, your reminder, your point of return when the world gets loud and the static tries to reclaim you. And know this, you are not alone in this. There are others, thousands of them, millions, scattered across this planet, going through exactly what you are going through, feeling exactly what you are feeling, becoming exactly what you are becoming. And every time one of you chooses coherence, the signal strengthens for all of them. Every time one of you refuses to dim, the permission field expands for every soul on this planet. You are not just waking up, you are lighting the way. And the light that is moving through you right now is more needed, more powerful, and more beautiful than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. Let that be enough. Let that be everything. Because it is. Now, if you are feeling this reality splitting open around you, if you sense that the very fabric of your experience is reorganizing in real time, go watch your entire reality is splitting right now. The quantum field chose this moment to tell you, because it will show you exactly why this timeline shift is happening and what the quantum field needs you to understand next.